Good afternoon. This is Judge Law. I just want to be sure that everyone's ready. Deputy Milton, is everyone in the South Annex that you need to have there?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm ready.
Okay, thank you.
Is the officer 17?
All right, folks, this is Judge Law, and we're going to begin with our Fulton State Expedited Accusation Calendar. If you are an observer, a witness, or interested party, please make sure that your Zoom mute. First of all, this particular calendar is for cases in which the individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Upon being brought to the jail, the prosecutor, which is the Solicitor General's Office of Fulton County, has already formally accused the defendant with one or more misdemeanor offenses. This would be the defendant's initial appearance before a judge, at which time we will inform you of your new case number, the charges brought against you, appoint counsel to represent you, set a bond, and give you a hearing date where applicable. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you say during the course of this virtual proceeding, your statements will be recorded and used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. We have attorneys from the Public Defender's Office who will be representing you. And otherwise, you are free to either represent yourself or hire a private attorney. So Courtroom Two, who do we have?
Your Honor, we have position number 3, Ms. Jones.
All right, thank you. We have Ms. Quatika Reena Jones, case number 22 CR 005316E, accused of simple battery from August 6, 2022. Ms. Jones, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be, is it Ms. Gant or Ms. Kim? Who is her counsel?
Miss Gant.
All right.
No, I made a mistake. It is actually
McLeod.
legal attorney. Sorry about that.
Repeat again. Who is counsel for Ms. Jones?
Conflict attorney and
Conflict. All right, thank you. Mr. Jordan, do we have any conflict counsel on calendar today?
Attorney McLeod is coming for the conflict cases, Judge.
All right. Deputy Francois, can we hold, or is it Officer Nelson?
Ms. Norris.
Norris, could we hold off on Ms. Jones until conflict counsel Maureen Mcleod signs on?
Okay, no problem, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We're gonna go with position number 6, Ms. Marshall.
All right, we have Ms. LaQuay, or is it Ms. LaQuay or Ms. LaKey?
LaQuay.
LaQuay Marshall, accused of battery and a fray.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's a co-defendant in this case that I would like to handle at the same time.
Okay, and who is that?
Let me find that position for you.
Well, let me just ask one question first. I don't have conflict counsel on the Zoom yet, so I won't be able to handle co-defendant at the same time.
Okay, well, we'll be able to push this position back. No,
Is there a particular reason why? Is this a cross-defendant or a co-defendant?
co-defendant.
Co-defendant. I guess so. Officer Norris, I'm sorry, that's another request to hold off on this one until conflict counsel comes on board.
And that-
Okay, she's actually talking on the phone right now with the client, Ms. McLeod.
All right, could we have any of the clients belonging who have spoken to Ms. Gant or Ms. Kim?
Okay, let's try Ms. Washington Smith, position 13.
Okay,
That's Ms. Kim.
Yes.
all right. Let's go with position 13, and that is Ms. Jayla Washington Smith, accused of theft by shoplifting on April 27, 2022. Ms. Washington Smith, you have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Kim. Any priors, Mr. Tucson?
First arrest.
All right. Ms. Reed, is it? Good afternoon.
Hello, Your Honor.
Yes.
We read for the state.
What's your recommendation for Ms. Washington Smith?
Our recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, as well as a stay away from all Walmart locations. Just a bit of the facts to put on the record. The defendant was employed by Walmart, and she was seen leaving the building with a coworker, and she had with her 2 inflatable mattresses and a tent valued at $238.76. Both the defendant and Ms. Sanders, that's the co-defendant, Jayla Sanders, Jayla Sanders, they were both terminated, and Walmart Loss Prevention notified law enforcement, and they viewed a still shot of the defendant leaving the store.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Washington Smith is 18 years old, Your Honor, and she actually has been here in Georgia for 1 year. She moved from Tennessee to Georgia to go to college at Georgia Gwinnett, and she graduated from high school with a 3.8 GPA as an honor student, and she's right now a freshman, and her first class started on August 8, 2022, and she actually quit Walmart on March. Right now, she is basically hosting a party coordinator to raise some extra cash before her school. And she actually turned herself in when she found out that there was a warrant outstanding against her. She volunteered and came to the Fulton County to turn herself in. So we would like to ask for signature on bond, since this is her first offense and she's only 18 years old, and she's the one who turned herself in. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bond is set at $2,000. It's a signature bond through pretrial services. She will report to pretrial once a month, and she's to have no further contact with, what was that person's full name? I have Sanders.
Jayla, Jayla.
No,
Sanders.
the alleged,
She's the alleged co-defendant.
they have the same first name,
Yes, Your Honor. Spelled differently.
Jayla.
Yes.
Oh, what a coinkydink. Okay. All right. Must report to pretrial once a month and have no further contact with, well, Jayla Sanders. You're also to stay away from all Walmart stores. You're not allowed into any of the Walmart stores. Please work with your defense counsel, whether it's the public defender's office or if you choose to hire private counsel. You're 18 years old, you're about to embark on a college degree, and this, I can tell you, is not a great start. So if you get arrested again for anything else, if you don't report to pretrial, or if you don't report to court when summoned, we will issue a bench warrant and the signature bond will be canceled, which means that the next time you're in jail for this case, you would have to pay $2,000 to be released. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right, we'll see you. I have a Roswell address. Is that a current address?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll need her email and her cell number. Miss Kim, if you have the information, you can upload that to Miss April Champion, who can
Yes.
update her system. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we will send her her notice for her next court date. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I doing a close.
No cosigner required.
Okay.
She's going to college. I assume she's adult enough. Okay, South Annex, who do we have?
We have Miss Munoz, Marina Munoz. I do not have her position number, Your Honor.
That's okay, I've got it. All right, Miss Marina Muniz is
Your Honor.
position 7.
Yes, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt, but I
Okay.
would like to make an announcement that we need to have a breakout room for this case.
All right.
We can wait.
No, that's okay. I can, is Miss McLeod on Zoom? Yes, she is. Okay, let me address the conflict cases first then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, Miss McLeod, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, let's see. You've got quite a busy roster today, so let's begin
Yes.
with, I believe it's Miss Quartika Reena Jones, who is in front of us right now, accused of simple battery from August 6, 2022. Have you had a chance to confer with her?
I have, Your Honor.
All right. And Miss Jones has been advised of her right to remain silent, and her Counsel is Maureen Mcleod. Mr. Tucson, any priors?
15 total. Last arrest was November. Stuff by taken. 2018, failed to appear for criminal damage to property. 2015, probation, forgery in the second. Came off a 2014 conviction. 2014 battery conviction out of state court. It's 14 CR 000016. She had a 2012 FTA for affray and disorderly conduct. 2012 probation. 2011 simple battery DV conviction. And a 2012 disorderly conduct given false name conviction. 2011 affray conviction.
That's good. Thank you.
Got a hold, I think.
It's a hold? I
Yeah,
didn't see one.
she got one out of Marietta.
Okay, that's a Marietta hold. Okay.
And damage to property out of Decatur.
And these are open cases?
Yeah, I'm assuming. The Decatur one is dated that one is June 20th. Marietta FTA is June 29th.
All right, thank you. Ms. Duncan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The
And-
incidences alleged in this offense occurred on August the 6th, 2022. The victim in this case is Mr. Philip Williams. Mr. Williams does share a child with the defendant in this case. The facts indicate that this is the result of an altercation that took place at a Quick Mart gas station at 3221 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive Southwest. The facts indicate that the defendant in this case was in an altercation with her child's father while he was at the gas station. However, the altercation became physical and they were transported to Grady for treatment. And while there and speaking to officers, the defendant in this case she told officers that she was defending herself for pepper spraying her child's father. However, the responding officer at the gas station was able to obtain video footage from his body camera. And upon further review, the investigating officer did see that, in fact, this defendant walked up to the victim, Mr. Williams, unprovoked and began to pepper spray him. And at that point, a physical altercation did ensue. When asked why she pepper sprayed the victim in this case, she stated that she was upset about a conversation that they had on the previous day. Your Honor, the state has this is a domestic violence case, even though it isn't charged as such, it will be updated. However, we have a concern about the risk of reoffense here. This defendant has 5 violent convictions within the past 10 years. We're concerned that this defendant is also a flight risk, given that she's currently wanted and has several FTAs and probation violations in her record in the past 10 years. We also have a concern about her likelihood of a response to this legal process, given those probation violations. And for those reasons, the state is going to be requesting a $3,000 surety, no further contact with the victim, in this case, Mr. Philip Williams, third-party child contact, a stay away from the incident location, which is that Quick Mart gas station, 4 weeks of anger management, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years old. She has lived in the state of Georgia for most of her life. She is a mother of 4 children. They're 12 years old, 5, 2, and a 1-year-old that she shares with the alleged victim. My client was actually attacked by the alleged victim. She had to go to Grady and had stitches in her face. I believe she's currently in a wheelchair, Your Honor, and she was diagnosed with having bleeding on her brain. She was pretty violently attacked by Mr. Williams. She doesn't want to have any further contact with him, even though they share a child, Your Honor. He has not legitimated the child. And she says that he is quite violent and she does not wish to interact with him. I know that she has a significant history, but in this case, she maintains that she was not the aggressor and she was significantly injured and she was actually defending herself when she maced him, and that's all that she did to him, Your Honor. As I mentioned before, she does have 4 small children that she has to take care of. She works as a hairdresser. She doesn't have any money to post bond. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting her bond.
And
Yes,
as previously stated, Your Honor, the body camera footage from the officers, according to the incident. does
oh,
state that-
yes, I got that noted too. It's in the warrant and you did mention that. Yes, thank
Right,
you.
I just want to make sure we had that on the record, nothing further.
All right, bond is going to be set at $2,000. It is a surety bond. No further contact with Philip Williams. I will allow for a third-party transfer of the minor child that she shares with Mr. Williams. She's to, this is a domestic violence matter.
Yes,
So I'm,
But they do live together or not, they do share a child though.
yeah, I am allowing a third-party transfer. Yeah, it's got to, the accusation has to be amended to a DV charge. And in addition to no further contact with Philip Williams, she's to also not consume any illegal drugs, no alcohol, and not possess any weapons or any firearms. She's to, when I say stay away from Mr. Williams, that means stay physically 200 yards away from him, from wherever he happens to live, work, and wherever he's physically standing. Like I said, the child transfer can be done through a neutral third party. She's not to discuss him on any social media. And her next court date is going to be August 25th. Of course, if she does make bond, she can only be released to the hold of either Marietta or Decatur, whichever agency comes and picks her up. That would be her release status. She cannot be released on her own reconnaissance after posting bond. All right, that concludes the case. Thank you.
Your Honor, was that for position number 3? I thought we were in South Annex.
No, this is Quadica Jones.
Okay. And the bond amount was, what was it again?
2,000.
2,000 surety. No contact with Philip Williams. Allow for third-party transfer of the child. Next court date is August 25th.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, we're gonna have to go to courtroom 3.
All right. And who do we have in courtroom 3?
That's
Number
gonna
2,
be-
Mr. Jenkins.
Repeat.
Number 2, Mr. Jenkins.
Okay. We have Devontae Jenkins in case 22 CR 0053238, accused of battery, domestic violence from March 30th, 2022. Ms. Jenkins, you've been advised, well, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is going to be Ms. Wanda Gant. Any priors, Mr. Toussaint?
7 total. Last arrest 2018, theft by taking. It was dismissed. He's on probation out of Carroll County. Criminal attempt to commit a felony. Underlying charge was home invasion. It was an ag assault with that arrest. The ag assault was dismissed. 2014 marijuana possession, misdemeanor. 2014 sale of marijuana, it was reduced to misdemeanor. It was dismissed. And he got arrested 2017 out of Alabama. Fraud, weapons possession. That's it.
All right. Ms. Duncan?
yes, Your Honor, the incidents alleged in this offense occurred on March 30th, 2022. Now, what happened in this case, Your Honor, is that the victim, Sabria Berenius, Saavirah, last name Breneus, went to the South Fulton precinct and told officers that she had had a physical altercation with her boyfriend at 455 Washington Road, apartment 5L, 30 minutes prior to her arriving at the precinct. What happened in this case is, Your Honor, the victim alleges that there was a physical altercation between her and her boyfriend, her living boyfriend, while her 2 children were there, that resulted in bite marks on her right shoulder and her upper left shoulder area, as well as broken glasses. She alleges that during this incident, the defendant did slap her, and the violence escalated once she tried to record the defendant attacking her. And at this point, Your Honor, the facts do state that the victim in this case was so afraid that she ran out of the house without her shoes on, and went to ask officers for help and they escorted her back at that time, Your Honor. While we were able to speak with the victim, she does state that he is the father of those two children, and that, however, she would not like to prosecute, but the state has serious concern here about intimidation of this particular witness, because it is reported that she had to run out of the house with no shoes on for fear of further attack. We also have somewhat of a concern that this defendant may be a flight risk, given that the defendant is currently wanted, I believe. Given that and the severity of the offenses alleged, the state is going to be requesting a $4,000 surety, no further contact with the victim in this case, a third-party child transfer, a stay away from 455 Washington Road, apartment 5L, 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. And I've been notified that I believe the victim is currently on the line.
All right, Ms. Bernius, if you would like to testify and contribute to this hearing, you would need to unmute and start your video. Otherwise, we will move on to the defense.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, I'm Sabira Bernius.
All right, please raise your right hand if you want to testify and keep your device in front of you.
You said do what? I'm sorry.
You would need to keep your device in front of you and not on the ceiling. Are you at work?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell us in terms of whether you're comfortable with Mr. Jenkins being in the same house with you?
Well, he does not live there. He doesn't live with me at the house, but I was speaking to two other people earlier, and I did inform them that I have no fear of Mr. Jenkins. And also, I would like to keep contact with Mr. Jenkins. That night was an intoxicated night.
Your Honor, I would ask that the complaining witness limit her testimony to whether or not she wants contact.
Oh, yes, I do.
They would ask that the testimony be able to be heard as it's relevant to the Ayala factors.
All right.
Okay.
The objection is overruled. Ms. Bernius, go ahead and tell me what you felt about that night, and I will stop you when I think enough is said.
Yes, ma'am. It was an intoxicated night for the both of us, and it just got a little rowdy. I'm not scared of him. It was just a night that we really just both did it to each other. It never happened before, and it never happened after.
All right. Ms. Bent, thank you, Ms. Bernius.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Devontae Jenkins is 26 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has community ties, including his family. He also shares two children, ages 3 and 1, with Ms. Bernius. Your Honor, as Ms. Bernius and my client states, they do not and never have lived together, Your Honor. Mr. Jenkins completed high school. He has some college. He studied computer science and later changed his major to mass communications. He is currently employed. He has 2 jobs. He is working at Home Depot, the warehouse, full-time. He also works for Gaucher's breakfast bar full-time. Your Honor, he denies the allegations, and I do acknowledge my client's history. However, I would bring to the court's attention that the state indicated that he is wanted. I do not have any knowledge whatsoever of any warrants for Mr. Jenkins, and furthermore, he informs me that he believes that his probation terminated after 4 years because some modifications in the terms. I did speak to Ms. Jenkins. She informed me that she wanted to have contact with him, as does my client. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Jenkins' behalf. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. And again, we are opposed to the no further contact and stay away orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Howard, I just want to confirm the Carroll County probation.
If I clarify for the record.
Just a minute, please, Tim. Just 1 second. Mr. Howard?
Yeah, he on probation.
And this is from Carroll County?
That
was from Carroll County, right?
Yes, they gave him 8 years in 2016. And that warrant, what's the date of this warrant? March 30th?
March 30th, 2022.
Yeah, that's the same warrant that's on the GCRC. So
And
he's
that's what
not wanted. Yeah, he's not wanted.
He's not wanted?
No. He is on probation, but he's not wanted.
Okay.
It's
thank
a
you.
South Fulton warrant.
I just want to make sure that he's still currently on felony probation.
Yes,
All right, thank you.
based on the time, yes.
Okay.
And
Ms.
that's-
Duncan?
And that's what I wanted to clarify for the record, Your Honor. My apologies. It appears that that warrant that was that popped up in my GCIC is this same warrant with the same date. My apologies.
All right, thank you. Bond is going to be set at 2,500. It is a surety bond. No further contact with Sabiria Benays. No further contact with the minor children. Mr. Jenkins, once he makes bond, he can seek custody and visitation of the minor children in question through a legitimation action with the appropriate superior court. So he can have visitation and custody with the minor children through a third party. That visitation and custody must be established by court order from a legitimation action. No drugs, no weapons, and no alcohol, no firearms. His next court date is going to be August 25th. No further contact with the children. Ms. Benays means that he's not to communicate with them in any way, form, or manner unless there's a court order that allows him to have contact with the children through a legitimation action. He's not to also communicate with them from the jail, and definitely not through a third party or through any kind of social media. If you do make bond, Mr. Jenkins, please make sure you comply with the conditions, and within 30 days of making bond, you must update the court with your current address. You are to, since you do not live with Ms. Benays, so you're going to stay away from that location. And I'm sorry, I didn't get the address from the warrant. Do you have it, Ms. Duncan?
Yes, I do. The address where the incident is alleged to have occurred is 4555 Washington Road, apartment 5L.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Am I going back to South Annex? I see South
Your
Annex.
Honor, can we do position number 10? He has a visitor here,
Okay,
Mr. Thomas.
isn't that the co-defendant? I'm not sure, Mr.
No,
Thomas.
I don't think he has a co-defendant, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is not, Your Honor.
All right, just trying not to get confused. Okay. Mr. Thomas is Shanathane, I think it's Shanathane Thomas, accused of battery, domestic violence. I'm sorry?
It's Nathan.
Shanathan, okay, Shanathan Thomas, accused of battery, domestic violence from November 20th, 2021. And the accusation number is 22 CR 005-332C. Mr. Thomas, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Kim. Mr. Tucson, any priors?
I have to go get it. He either went to felony or bench warrant court this morning. He went to felony. I'll be back.
I'm going to, okay, but I guess I'll just ask Ms. Johnson right now, and then we can verify it with you. Ms. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor. I can start with his history. I have a theft by deception in 2017. He does have an open felony case that was in first appearance this morning. There were several obstruction charges, and I believe it was one theft by receiving stolen property felony and two theft by receiving misdemeanor, 2 counts for this morning. He also has an open case. That open case is 16 SC. Actually, my apologies, Your Honor, I misspoke. He has 2 open cases. I'm not completely sure on the felony case for this morning. It's a weapon charge and obstruction charges. The open PTI case is 16 SC 148595. That is the case that has the theft by receiving stolen property felony and 2 misdemeanors of theft by receiving stolen property. He never completed PTI, so there should be a judicial hold FTA on that case currently. The case that was on this morning were the obstruction charges and the dangerous weapon charge. In the case that is before Your Honor this morning, The incident date is August 9th, 2022, with that location being 12655 Deerfield Parkway in Alpharetta. Your Honor, officers came to the location and Miss Janice Goodman informed officers that she was walking up the stairs in her home when the defendant placed 2 hands around her neck. Ms. Goodman stated that she was able to twist and pull away from the defendant, but he began shouting at her about cheating. Ms. Goodman exited the apartment and went to her mother's home. The officer noted Ms. Goodman had some skin missing from the right side of her neck. The defendant and Ms. Goodman have 3 children together. Your Honor, state is quite concerned with this case. Not only does the defendant have an open case in front of the court this morning where he has obstruction charges and a dangerous weapon charge, but he was forceful enough to leave markings on Miss Janice Goodman. I'd ask that bond be a $3,500 surety bond with no further contact and a stay away. And also, Your Honor, I'd like to just restate that we do have some concerns about the flight risk, just given his obstruction charges that were in front of the court this morning. And he does have 2 FTAs from this year.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas is 28 years old and he has been here in Georgia for all his life. He has 3 children. They're 10, 7, and 1 year old. He has not had a job for the last 4 years after he graduated from high school. So he does not have any financial means to pay for any of the bond at this point. And also, Your Honor, he has 2 other cases. So, I mean, not only open cases, but there's another hold, foreign county. So he's not going anywhere, Your Honor. He's not a flight risk, and he has a ties to the community. I think he should be frying the bigger fishes, and we would like to request for maximum $1,000 surety bond for this case. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor.
I see a FTA bench warrant for 17 CR 010466J as well. Okay. Yes,
Honor.
Mr. Norris?
Yeah, we have the victim is actually in the visitor's galley. She wants to say something to the court.
At this juncture, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to allow it. She can reach out to the Victim Advocates Division.
Okay.
And she can confer with them, but he's not getting a signature bond at this rate. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anything else to add, Ms. Kim?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. The bond is set at $3,500. It is a surety bond. His next court date is August 25th. And unless there is any other reason why it should not be scheduled together, we're going to schedule 17 CR 010466J as well at the same time for the next SAP calendar on August 25th. No contact with Ms. Goodman. No third-party transfer of the children that he shares with Ms. Goodman. He may seek custody or visitation of the children through a legitimation action to be filed in the appropriate superior court. He's to also stay away from the location in, I believe you said, Ms. Johnson, it was in Alpharetta, Deerfield Road?
I have the address. It's 12655 Deerfield Parkway in Alpharetta.
Okay. He's to say 200 yards away from those locations as well. If the alleged victim would like to amend any of the conditions of the bond, she would need to contact the Victim Advocates Division of the Sole Solicitor General's office, and they will file the appropriate motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next,
you can go to South Annex. Go to South Annex.
Thank you. Deputy Milton, that was Ms. Muniz, and that's going to be a breakout.
Yes,
Ms. Muniz, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Kim. Please do not make any comments during the course of this virtual proceeding. Your attorney has requested what we call a sidebar. So we are going to be leaving the screen and we will be back shortly. Ms. Champion or Mr. Jordan, if you could place myself with Ms. Kim, Ms. Duncan, and Ms. Falk in a breakout room, please.
Judge, who all needs to be in the breakout room?
Myself with Ms. Kim PD Kim, ASG Duncan, and ASG Shelley Falk. All right, we are back with the Mariana Muniz case with regards to the theft of services. Pursuant to a sidebar, Ms. Muniz, your bond is going to be set at $2,000. That's going to be a surety bond. You are to stay away from the Aria Salon located at 41 Milton Avenue in Alpharetta, Georgia. You are to have no contact with Ms. Kodari, who is the owner or proprietor of the Aria Salon. You're not to contact her in person, through a phone, through a computer device, through a third party, or even on social media, or even discuss that business on social media. If you do make bond, your next court date is going to be August 25th at 9 a.m. However, if you are released on bond, the court is going to require you to complete what we call a BHET, and your attorney will explain that to you. That evaluation must be completed within 60 days of being released on bond. And once that has been completed, you must file the results of that evaluation under seal with the court within 60 days. So within 60 days of today, that would be in middle of October. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, it's actually 60 days from the time you're released. So like I said, and but presently your bond is 2,000 surety bond, reset date August 25th. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons, no firearms. Thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, Debbie Milton, you have a great day. Thank you.
Position 11 and 12, Ms. Valentine.
Who represents Ms. Valentine? Ms. Kim? Ms.
I do,
Martin?
Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is a Pravia Valentine who's got two separate theft by shoplifting charges, or two theft by shoplifting cases. The first one is 22 CR 0053220Y, accused of theft by shoplifting from July 12th, 2022. The second case is a 22 CR 0053227Y, accused of theft by shoplifting from July 19th, 2022. I believe the alleged victim store is the same. Ms. Valentine, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Maureen Mcleod. Mr. Howard, any priors?
It's a fifth arrest.
Any prior theft matters or convictions?
Yeah. Her last arrest was 3 counts of false statements or writings, 2013. 2013 probation, 2011 simple battery family violence. He has a warrant out of McDonough for shoplifting.
All right, thank you. Ms. Reed?
Thank you, Your Honor. For position 11, the defendant entered a Family Dollar located at 4894 Old National Highway in College Park, and she exited the store with a basket of merchandise while the store employee was checking out another customer. The defendant was later seen leaving the store and jumping into a gold Chevrolet. For that case, we're asking for a $1,500 surety bond. For position 12, the defendant in a Miss Shonda Turner, that's spelled SHONDA, entered a Family Dollar store located at 1616 Virginia Avenue in Atlanta, and they proceeded to fill their carts with merchandise, and they left through a side door, causing an alarm to go off. The store manager saw the defendant and Miss Turner jump into a car, and he wrote down the tag number, and it was registered to Miss Turner. Ms. Turner was arrested August 9th, and she told the police that the defendant was with her on the 19th. Last night, Detective Merchant observed the defendant at a gas station, and he placed her in custody. She was Mirandized, and she admitted she was in the footage from the incident that took place with position 11 on 7/12. We feel like there is a risk of reoffending because there is an outstanding warrant, and she does have a prior probation violation charged with the felony that she had. For the second case, we're also asking for a $1,500 surety bond. we are asking for a stay away from all Family Dollar General Stores, Fulton County, and no further contact with Shonda Turner. And that's it from the state.
Thank you. Ms. McLeod, excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 29 years old. She is the mother of 5 children ranging in age from 13 years old to 5 years old. She tells me that she is currently homeless. She's just been having a really hard time. Even though she has an associate's degree, I think because of the previous arrest, she's been having a hard time getting employment. And she does admit that she was with the alleged co-defendant on these occasions, Your Honor. She doesn't have any money to pay bond. She really is in desperate straits right now. She doesn't have anywhere to live. And I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting her bond. Yes, she does have a holdout of Henry County, of which she's aware, Your Honor.
All right. Bond is set at $500 on each case, and that's going to be $1,000 good bond in total. Our next court date is August 25th. Stay away from all Family Dollar stores. No contact with Shonda Turner. She cannot communicate with Ms. Turner or be within 200 yards or communicate with her through any kind of phone or computer device. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. And her next court date is August 25th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 6, Marshall, and position 15, Willis.
Your Honor, just to clarify on positions 10 and 11, I believe that one of them was a Dollar General, one of them was a Family Dollar.
Was it a Dollar General? Okay, I'm so sorry. In that case, I think was position 11, which was from the July 12th. Was that the Dollar General one?
Your Honor, let me.
Let me just go back and confirm, but I'm pretty sure they were.
I can just say stay away from all Dollar General and Family Dollar stores. I mean, that's, unless y'all can clarify the address, put it in the chat to Miss April Champion.
I will. Thank
Position,
you, Your Honor.
and we'll put that in the bond orders. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I have position 6, LaQuay Marshall. Which one is that? All right. And then we have, did you say Devonia Willis?
That's correct, Judge.
And she's Devonia Willis, please place your hand up. Good, okay. All right, Ms. LaQuay Marshall, your case number is going to be 22 CR 005317J. You're accused of battery and affray, criminal misdemeanor offense to describe fighting from August 10th, 2022. Ms. Devonia Shantavius Willis, you've also got 1 count of battery and 1 count of affray fighting, also from the same date. Both of you have been advised of your right to remain silent. Both of you have the right to an attorney. For Ms. Marshall, it's going to be Ms. Wanda Gant, unless you want to correct me. Is it Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And for Ms. Devonia Willis, that's going to be Ms. Maureen Mcleod.
Yes,
Mr. Tucson, what are the priors on Ms. Marshall?
The third arrest. Last was in February for suspended license. She got first offender 2018 for disorderly conduct and obstruction. She has 2 holds, one out of Brazelton and Morrow. That's it.
And Ms. Willis?
Willis. This is our second arrest. Last arrest was back in October. Criminal damage to property 2nd degree. That's open in DeKalb County.
And you said what's that 2nd degree?
Yes.
That's a felony. Okay. All right, Mr. Dudley, who would you like to start with?
We can start with position 6.
All right, Ms. Marshall.
Ms. Marshall, yes. The incident occurred at 5330 Campbellton Fairburn Road at the McDonald's. The victim, Tanitra, Tonitra Foster, common spelling for the last name, was working at McDonald's when the defendant and co-defendant came into the store and stated that the previous drive-thru associate messed up their order and owes them money. Ms. Foster was at the cash register when the defendant and co-defendant became irate and threw drinks onto her. They began to start fighting with Ms. Foster, punching her and kicking her. Officer M. Cooper, dispatched to the scene, was able to watch the video of the incident, which did show the co-defendants attacking Ms. Foster. And Your Honor, well, when it concerns LaQuay Marshall, she has been convicted of disorderly conduct in Clayton County in 2019.
All right. And what about Ms. Willis?
And for Ms. Willis, as you know, the facts mirror each other. She attacked Ms. Foster with LaQuay Marshall. And for Ms. Willis, she's been arrested for criminal damage in the second degree out of the cab in 2021. And for both of these defendants, we're going to say the bond mirrors each other. The state recommends a $4,000 surety bond with the breakdown of $3,000 for the battery, $1,000 for a fray, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, no alcohol, drugs, or weapon. And Your Honor, I would like to make note that we were able to contact the victim. She is here on the Zoom. She does not wish to speak, but she made it known that she was just trying to help the defendants with the issue that they were having with their food before they attacked her. And they also began to pull her hair out from her scalp and while attacking her, Your Honor. Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you. Let's begin with Ms. Gant. Ms. Gant, what is your recommendation for your client, Ms. Marshall?
Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Marshall's behalf. And if Your Honor determines that she's ineligible for a signature bond, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000 total. That would be $500 for each count. We are unopposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Ms. LaQuay Marshall is 24 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 8 years. She does have family here, including 2 children. Including a 2-year-old. She is the primary caretaker for that young child, and she is not receiving any child support. Ms. Marshall completed high school. She also has an associate's degree from Albany Tech, where she studied criminal justice. She is currently employed, newly, I may add, and still on probation. She has only been in her job, on her job at DHL for 4 weeks. Therefore, she does not have the means to pay much, if anything, toward bond. She denies the allegations and she offers a competing version. She states that the complaining witness actually called her names and threw items at her, and she also adamantly denies punching her. Again, I acknowledge my client's history, but I believe that a 2019 conviction for disorderly conduct is quite remote for this court to consider. And again, I would ask for the signature bond or in the alternative, a bond of no more than $1,000. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away and the no contact orders. Thank you.
Your Honor, the state would just like to reaffirm that there is video footage of the defendant.
Yeah, I noted that in the warrant. So let's send, yeah, got everything. Ms. McLeod, yes.
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask for a signature bond for my client. She's only 19 years old, Your Honor. She's had an arrest, but there is no conviction on her record. An arrest is not the same as a conviction. She tells me that what happened was that they went to McDonald's to order some food and the order was not right. So they just went inside to complain to the supervisor. She did not attack anyone. She alleges that the complaining witness threw ketchup at her. And then she came from around the cash register and attacked her. And she was simply defending herself. Your Honor, she is employed. She tells me that she works at a warehouse. It's a new job. She doesn't really have any money to pay bond, Your Honor. And as I say, she has no record and she's only 19. So I would ask the court to consider giving her a signature bond. She has no problem staying away from the location and also staying away from the complaining witness, who is a stranger to her. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Yes, Ms. Marshall, I would recommend you say anything. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of the case, your statements can and will be used against you, especially by the prosecutors. So please exercise your right to remain silent.
Yes.
Yes, please remain silent, Ms. Marshall. The judge is about to rule.
On both these cases, the battery charge is going to be $1,750. That's the surety bond. The affray is going to be $750. Total bond for both the defendants is going to be $2,500. It is a surety bond. The conditions of the bond are as follows: to have no further contact with Tanitra Foster, to stay 200 yards away from her, and to not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner, including social media. To stay 200 yards away from the McDonald's restaurant located at 5330 Campbellton Fairburn Road in South Bolton. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. And after today, Ms. Marshall and Ms. Willis, you are to stay away from each other. The Sheriff's Department will be directed to house you in a separate division, and that you both not communicate with each other from this point onwards. Your next court date is going to be August 25th. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, you said the total bond was $2,500, correct?
Correct. The breakdown is $1,750 for the battery and $750 for the affray.
Thank you. Okay, you all can have a seat. Position 1, Anderson.
Solomon Anderson is case number 22 CR 005321D, accused of driving under the influence of drugs less safe, from August 10th, 2022. Mr. Anderson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Wanda Gant. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was 2009. Simple battery DV. Simple battery was dismissed. He got first offender for some CWAC charges from 07. He don't have any DUIs.
Okay, so this will be a first lifetime DUI?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor. Even though the defendant is a first-time DUI offender, this defendant does have an extensive criminal history dating back to 2004. This defendant's criminal history indicates 10 suspensions since that time and 13 citations that range from seatbelt violations, safety regulations, and as well as driving offenses related to drugs and vehicles as well. In this case, Your Honor, the incidents alleged happened yesterday in the area of Old Holcomb Bridge Road. Officer Gordon was dispatched to that area in reference to a male being inside a vehicle, not being conscious and not responding. Once the officer arrived on scene, they located the suspected vehicle, and that vehicle was still running. They noted that the defendant in this case was sitting inside of the vehicle unconscious while it was still running in the driver's seat. They opened the door and they were eventually able to wake the defendant, and according to officers, he appeared confused and disoriented. Officers asked him to step outside of the vehicle and to go to the front of the patrol vehicle. Officers observed that while the defendant was walking to the front of the patrol vehicle, he was unsteady on his feet. Officer asked the defendant if he would partake in field sobriety evaluations, and the defendant consented. In this case, Your Honor, on the HGN, officers noted that this defendant was not able to keep his head still while doing that evaluation, and instead of only following their finger with his eyes, he was continually moving his head. The walk and turn, the defendant was not able to complete that. He was unsteady on his feet. The one leg stand was completed, but there were no clues indicated for that, Your Honor. They indicated that he was swaying and things of that nature. And based on that field sobriety test, the officers at that time had probable cause to believe that the defendant was under the influence of some type of drug, even though at the time the state is not aware of what that drug is. The probable cause and the experience of the officers is what the state is using to go forward with this case. With that being said, given this defendant's extensive criminal history, we are going to be requesting a $4,000 surety, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations. We do have concern that this defendant is a flight risk. There's a previous FTA from 2017, and that was also for a traffic offense. Yes, and his driving history is severe with at least 23 infractions since 2004. So the state is going to be requesting that. Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Solomon Anderson is 33 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He is married and has been so for 3 years. He has Your Honor, 5 children with his wife. They all live in the same household. The ages are 3. 2 of the children are 6, 13 and 15. He also is the proud parent of 3 additional children, ages 18, 21, and 20. Mr. Anderson completed high school. He also went on to study business administration in college. He is currently employed full-time as a manager at CBS and has been so for the past 4 years. He also works part-time as a Lyft driver. He started this job at the beginning of August. My client denies the allegations. He informs me that, of course, with his full-time job and his part-time job, he was working his Lyft job. He was very tired, extremely tired. Neither the warrant nor the state is able to identify any drugs whatsoever that my client is taking. He denies making any statements to the police about taking any drugs, Your Honor. This is his first arrest for DUI. He is presumed innocent, and I would just bring to the court's attention that whatever history my client has, it's remote. The last we heard about any involvement with the law is 2009 for charge that was dismissed, and the FTA 2017, that's over 2 years old. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Anderson's behalf, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask that you leave the bond as set at $1,000. Thank you.
And if I may, Your Honor, just to clarify, as Your Honor well knows, the law does not require the state to proffer what specific drug, but the officers on scene indicated that due to their knowledge and experience, the defendant in this case did appear to be positive for some form of intoxication, and that is all that is required. And this defendant's last driving history violation was a suspension in 2020 and a citation in 2018 for improper lane use. Nothing further from the state.
Thank you. Bond is going to be set at $2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. Next court date is going to be sent to his current address. He will report to pretrial once a month. He will be subject to random screens for alcohol and or illegal drugs. And if he fails a drug screen, an alcohol screen, or if he fails to report to pretrial, or if he gets arrested again for anything else, the $2,500 signature bond will be revoked. No driving unless he's got the appropriate permission by the Department of Driver Services. After 30 days, his license does get suspended unless he files an administrative appeal. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You done. Position 4, Lambert.
This is Devon Lambert, charged with theft by shoplifting from May 5th, 2022. Mr. Lambert, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Wanda Gant. Is it Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Howard, any priors, please?
8 total. Last arrest was 2018 for suspended license. This is Georgia history. 2010 suspended license. He was arrested in South Carolina. Last arrest there was 2008. Unlawful operation of unsafe equipped vehicle. Driving under suspension. Another 2008, no vehicle license, driving under suspension. 2006, speeding, driving under suspension.
All right, no theft charges, Senator?
No.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 241 Boulevard Northeast. The defendant entered the store of the victim, Leonor Belderes, Leonor Belderes. The store was named Desperate Housewares. The defendant purchased 2 sofas and 1 oil lamp, and he gave his contact information so that the items he purchased could be picked up later. While Ms. Belderes was in the back of the store, the defendant picked up some newspaper and he grabbed a suitcase and exited the store without paying for the suitcase. The officer dispatched to the scene was able to see from video footage that the defendant took the suitcase outside and placed it in the trunk of his car and then came back into the store. Your Honor, the state is going to recommend a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services and to stay away from the incident location. Nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Devon Lambert is 36 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area continuously since 2019. And I would also bring to the court's attention that he attended college here. He graduated from Morehouse where he studied economics and philosophy. He is married. He shares 2 children with his wife, ages 6 and 12. They all live here in Georgia together. Mr. Lambert, again, completed high school. I mentioned that he has a bachelor's, 2 bachelor's degrees in economics and philosophy. He is currently employed at Delta Airlines and has been in that position for the past 2 years. He relocated to Atlanta from California 2 years ago to work for Delta Airlines. My client denies the allegations. He does not have any history of theft convictions. We hear about driving offenses, Your Honor. He is recommended for a signature bond, and I would join the state in requesting a signature bond. And we are unopposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
2,500 signature bond through pretrial. Stay away from the Desperate Housewives store. LLC, houseware store, excuse me, not housewives, housewares, excuse me, at 241 Boulevard, Northeast Atlanta. No contact with Leonor Belderes, the proprietor, I guess. And he will report to pretrial once a month. He is not to consume any illegal drugs and no weapons, no firearms. His next court date will be sent to him as current address. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 9, Shear.
Position number 9, we have Antonio James Scherer, accused of. Is that Mr. Scherer?
Yes, thank you for saying my name the right way.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad I did. Case number 22 CR 005-322E, accused of simple battery domestic violence from June 7th, 2022. Mr. Scherer, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Kim. Any priors, Mr.
12 total. Last arrest was 2021. Possession of meth. Possession of drug-related objects, possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. Let me follow this. He's on probation for theft by taking 19 CR 006-279Y. They gave him 12 months back in September 2021. Also on probation, 2 counts of VGCSA, possession of drug-related objects, following too closely, improper lane change, possession of firearm during a crime. That's out of DeKalb County.
The last one was DeKalb. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, the last charges I read off.
All right.
He had a
That's
criminal
good.
damage to property from 2017 that was dismissed.
Oh, but that's good. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Johnson, what's your bond recommendation for Mr. Sheriff?
My bond recommendation is 3,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location and no further contact. And for the facts, Your Honor, this date did occur on 6/7/2022, the address being 2591 Etheridge Drive Northwest. Etheridge is Theridge. The victim in this case, Your Honor, is Natasha Hill. Natasha common spelling, Hill common spelling. The officer was called to the location. Ms. Hill advised officers that when she returned home, the defendant was inside of her home. The defendant had been storing his items in her home for 6 months. He put his hand in Ms. Hill's face and began yelling, asking her where his guns were. Ms. Hill advised that she was unaware. He then pushed her and informed her that he was not going to stop until he got his items. Ms. Hill fled the apartment and waited in the parking lot. Ms. Hill's daughter was still in the residence when she heard the defendant state if the police come, he was going to kill the whole family and Ms. Hill will be without a daughter. Ms. TF, Ms. Hill's daughter, then fled the apartment. The defendant fled the apartment by jumping off the back balcony. Your Honor, the state is quite concerned by the defendant's statements. As pretrial currently said, he's currently on misdemeanor probation. His statements were quite violent. I would ask Your Honor for that 3,000 surety bond and that he stay away from the incident location. Our victim advocate in our office has spoken to Ms. Hill and she has indicated that she does not want contact with him and she will not be present on Zoom at this time, Your Honor, but we would ask for no further contact.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Antonio is 44 years old, Your Honor, and they do not live together. So we don't have any objection to stay away from 2591 Etheridge Drive, except that he just needs one time law enforcement officer escorted visit so he can take all his belongings one final time. He has completely separate address and I can provide that if necessary. And he is a single father who has a full custody of 2 minor children, and they really need their support from father. And right now, there's another incident that they don't want to date together, and actually it was my client who broke up the relationship, and Ms. Hill is very angry about that, and they are going through some altercation, but my client says that he never laid any hand on her and he clearly denies all the allegations, Your Honor. We would like to request for a signature on bond because he really got to go back to his work where he works as a forklifter operator. He wants to keep the job because his 2 children are completely relying on him and he has a GED. That's all he has right now. And please give him a signature on bond. If not, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, please maximum $500 surety bond. Thank you.
All right. Bond is going to be set at 2,000. It's going to be a surety bond. Reset dates August 25th. No contact with Miss Natasha Hill to stay away from the location at 2591 Etheridge Drive in Northwest Atlanta. At the present time, I'm not going to permit a one-time visit. If there are any belongings with Miss Hill, she is instructed to pack them up and leave them either at a police station or for Mr. Sheriff to pick up. And the arrangement to pick up can be done through a third party. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons. And the no further contact with Miss Hill, with Miss Hill will include, was that HEEL or HILL?
HILL.
It's Hill, okay. That no further contact will include her and all her immediate family, including minor children. You say they share children together?
I do not think so. They are from another mother.
Okay, all right.
They don't share children.
Okay, next court date is August 25th. Mr. Scherer, you have a right to remain silent. The reason I keep reminding people of that is because they tend to make statements that not only incriminate you, but also make it very difficult for your attorney to represent you. So I would recommend that you exercise your right to remain silent.
Okay, I understand that, but
I will call you Mr.
I've never been convicted in DeKalb County. I don't have nothing in DeKalb County. I'm from DeKalb County, but I've never been arrested in DeKalb County. Ever since I was 12 years old, people that's related to the people in my family.
Mr. Cheryl, why is that relevant to my ruling? I did not take that as part of my ruling.
Okay. And Mr. Tasha Hill called me.
Mr. Antonio, I'll call you at the jail.
And Your Honor, if I may, could you repeat those conditions? I want to make sure I copy them down correctly.
No further contact with Natasha Hill and her immediate family, including minor children, to stay away from 2591 Etheridge Drive in Northwest Atlanta. He is not permitted a one-time visit. If he bonds out, a third party can make arrangements to retrieve his belongings. Ms. Hill can pack up his belongings and drop it off at a mutually agreed location, including a police station, but a third party would have to pick it up. No alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and no firearms. Next court date is August 25th.
And he's right. That was actually Clayton County, not DeKalb. But the bond assessment says DeKalb for some reason.
That had no bearing on my decision.
I know, I'm just wanting to clear that.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you,
Your Honor.
Position 14, Mr. Williams.
Just FYI, position number 8, John Russell has appeared to have been released on bond. So that case is going to be further noticed for trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 14, we have Willie Williams, accused of battery, domestic violence, and cruelty in the 3rd degree. This is from an August 6, 2022 incident. Mr. Williams, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Kim. Any priors, Mr. Tucson?
I got first arrest.
All right. Ms. Reed?
Thank you, Your Honor. The bond recommendation on this case is a total of $5,000 surety bond that breaks into $3,500 for count 1, battery, family violence, $1,500 for count 2, cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. The victim of this case is a Miss Kaisha Conley, first name spelled Kayisha, and her child with the initials YC. We have very limited information about this case because he was arrested by the city of Palmetto and we have not received any sort of supplemental information. Also, our office has not been able to make contact with Ms. Conley, but as the warrant stated, the defendant did strike her with a frozen water bottle and push her, and that caused a cut on her finger. And we understand that she was living at the incident location when this occurred. And this happened in the presence of her child. And even though the defendant this is his first arrest, we are concerned about him influencing the witness. And therefore, we are asking that he has a no further contact with the witness and with the victim and her child. And we're asking for a stay away from the location, a 1-day anger management course, and no drugs, alcohols, or weapons while out on bond.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is 45 years old and they do not have a relationship anymore, Your Honor. Indeed, even though they are living together, they broke up. However, it seems like my client is willing to stay outside of another place until she packs up and moves out from his own house. He bought his house 3 years ago and she moved in about last year. And my client denies allegations. The cut from the hand is when actually she was hitting my client and she scratched herself. And my client has photographs of his own injuries. He has 5 children and he has been here in Georgia for the last 7 years. and he works at Emory University Hospital doing DNA organization transplants related work. He has a bachelor's degree from the college, and he's actually that's all I have actually. And he has a allergies right now at the jail. He's kind of needs some medicine as well. This is his first offense ever. We would like to request for signature on bond. No further contact, stay away. We have no objection as long as we have a one-time escorted visit to the place so he can gather his personal belongings. Thank you.
Thank you. On the battery domestic violence, that's going to be a 3,500 bond. On the cruelty matter, that's going to be 2,500. The total bond is going to be 6,000. It is a signature bond through pretrial services. Conditions of the bond: he needs to report to pretrial once a month. If he gets arrested again, fails to report, or fails to appear in court, the $6,000 signature bond will be revoked and converted to a good bond or a cash bond. He's to have no further contact with Kaisha Conley and the minor YC. He's to stay away from 711 Carlton Point Way in Palmetto, Georgia. He may return one time only to either retrieve his personal belongings, and that visit cannot exceed 2 hours, or to verify that Ms. Conley has vacated the premises. If she has vacated the premises, then he may return to the property. But if she has not vacated the premises to the satisfaction of the police officer, then he cannot return to the property. He may seek a dispossessory action through a third party. He himself cannot file a dispossessory action while this case is still open and pending. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, and no weapons and no firearms. Within 30 days of being released on this signature bond, Mr. Williams is to update the court with his new address, phone number, and email. That means actually coming down to the courthouse, to the clerk's office, and giving us this information. In addition to that, while he's out on bond, he is to attend and complete a domestic violence intervention program at his expense. And that program must be commenced within 30 days of being released, and he will continue to attend those classes. He will report to pretrial as to the progress that he's undertaking with regards to those classes. Those classes will be done at his expense. Any questions? No? Okay.
No. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
We're completed here in Courtroom Two, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
What happened with Lambert?
I think we are done with South Annex. We had one other case.
Number 5.
Number 5, yeah.
Lampkin?
Douglas Lampkin.
Lampkin.
Oh,
Oh, okay. We're getting him, Judge. He was on both calendars, the felony and also misdemeanor.
Is he done with the felony calendar?
Yeah, he is.
Now.
Okay, thank you. All right, while we're waiting for Mr. Lampkin, let me just go down the calendar. Position number 1, Anderson, was a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial, further notice. Position 2, Jenkins, is a 2,500 surety bond, reset August 25th. Position 3, Jones, is a 2,000 surety bond, reset date August 25th. Position 4, Lambert, is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial, further notice. Position 5 is on hold. Position 6, Marshall's 2,500 surety, reset date August 25th. Position 7, Munis, is a 2,000 surety bond, reset date August 25th. Position 8, Russell, has been released on bond. Position 9, Scherer, is a 2,000 surety bond, reset date August 25th. Position 10, Thomas, is a 3,500 surety bond, reset August 25th. Position 11 and 12 is a $500 surety bond on each count, reset date. So it's $1,000 surety bond in total for both cases. Position 11 was the Dollar General store.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, and position 12 is stay away from the Family Dollar store. Okay,
That
got
is
it.
correct.
So position 13, Washington, is a $2,000 signature bond for pretrial for the notice. 14, Williams is a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial for the notice. And position 15, Willis, is a 2,500 surety bond, reset date August 25th. All right, we are on hold for Mr. Lampkin, who is the ASG for that. Mr. Dudley, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
And defense counsel is,
I represent him, Your Honor.
all right, Ms. McLeod, have you spoken to him already?
I have, Your Honor.
Right, wait.
Now, he got no bond on that felony, just so y'all know.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll be in recess just until Mr. Lampkin appears up front. I'm not sure if the jail staff is going to remove everybody else from courtroom 2, so we'll just be on hold.
Judge, we're back.
All right, thank you. Mr. Douglas Lampkin Jr., my name is Judge Lal, and we are addressing a new state court case that has been newly accused against you. The case number is 22 CR 005315J. And the charges are misdemeanor simple battery, domestic violence, and theft by taking. allegedly occurring on May 15, 2022 in Fulton County, Georgia. First of all, I'd like to remind you that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of this case, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your matter. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed to represent you. Currently, Maureen Mcleod is your attorney of record. So, Mr. Lampkin, we're first going to hear about your prior history. Mr. Howard?
13 total. Last arrest was April 2021 for misdemeanor theft by taking. April 2021 suspended license. He had a January 2020 ag assault strangulation. It says inactive, closed on Odyssey, so I'm not sure what happened. 2020 trespass family violence. 2017 and 2016 parole violation. And he was arrested in 1999 on a capital offense. It was dismissed. And he went to felony earlier, so there's no bond in that for that ag stop.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place at 294 Brownlee Road Southwest at apartment A8. The defendant went to the home of the victim, Dorshel, D-O-R-S-H-E-L, Pryor, common spelling, to grab a pair of clippers and his ID. The two were going through a divorce at the time, and the defendant had moved out some weeks prior to this incident. The defendant and Ms. Pryor got into an argument while her son, Antonio Alfred Jr., was present. The defendant went to the bathroom, grabbed a bar of soap, and threw it at Ms. Pryor. Ms. Pryor, noticing that he was escalating the argument, told her son to go to his room. The defendant proceeded to hit Ms. Pryor in the face with a closed fist, and the son could hear his mother screaming from the other room. And Ms. Pryor yelled out for the neighbors to call the police, at which point the defendant pushed her to the ground, took her phone, and left the scene. Your Honor, the state has serious concerns of reoffense concerning this case, as the defendant has an aggravated assault case involving Ms. Pryor from 2020, which was subsequently dismissed after indictment, and that case number is 20 SC 174359. The defendant also has an open case for aggravated stalking, theft by taking, and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. With the aggravated stalking and theft by taking involving Ms. Pryor taking place 3 months after the incidence of this case, and that case number is 22 CP 211380. The defendant, Your Honor, also has a criminal trespass in 2020, which again is involving Ms. Pryor, and that is in bitch warrant status, giving the state concerns that he is a flight risk. And the case number for that is 22 CR 000238J.
I'm sorry, I think it's 20 CR, isn't it? It's from a February 2020 incident?
For the
20 CR?
trespass, you mean?
238J.
238J. I'm confused about which one you're speaking about, Your Honor.
Oh, you were just mentioning his open cases. He's, as far as I can tell, it's 20 CR 000238J and 21 CR 002098J. And then this one.
Okay, Your Honor, I had 20 and then 2 CR 000238J.
It is 2020, Your Honor. I apologize for the miscommunication.
No, that's okay. I'm just looking it up, so I just wanted to confirm. Okay, Ms. Mcleod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is a native.
I wasn't.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Dudley.
Okay.
I beg your pardon. Sorry about that.
That's okay. The state also has concerns for this defendant influence the witness, as they are still currently married and live together at some point during this year before the defendant moved out. And as such, the state is going to recommend a $6,000 surety bond with a breakdown of $5,000 for the simple battery family violence and $1,000 for the theft by taking. No further contact to stay away from the incident location, and no drugs or alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further from the state.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Mcleod?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 43 years old. He is a native of Atlanta. He is the father of 2 adult children, and he also has 2 grandchildren. He tells me, Your Honor, that he and the alleged victim are married, but they are going through a divorce. They do not live together, Your Honor. He actually tells me that he lives elsewhere with his mother and his sister. He does not live with the alleged victim. He said they got into an argument because she had invited someone who was a total stranger over to the house. The grandchildren were there, and he was just concerned for the safety of the grandchildren. And he raised that he denies that he hit her at all. He absolutely denies that allegation, Your Honor. He does work, but he's self-employed essentially. He makes his living by detailing cars, so he really doesn't have a lot of money to go towards a bond, and I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting a bond for him. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yes, I am well aware of the aggravated stalking charge. There is a 12-month protective order against Mr. Lampkin in the Superior Court case 2022 CV 364817. And that protective order began on June 6, 2022, and doesn't expire until next June 2023, which means that Mr. Lampkin is required by a Superior Court order to stay away from Dorchelle Pryor and the minor child, as well as to have no contact with her in person, to any computer, phone, or any third party or social media. And he's not allowed to own or possess any weapons or firearms. So that's the protective order that's already in place. With regards to the charges here from May 15th, from what I gather, the protective order went into effect after May 15th. But nevertheless, it doesn't mitigate the seriousness of this incident. On the simple battery domestic violence, the bond is going to be set at $2,000, and on the theft by taking, it's going to be set at $1,500. Total bond is going to be set at $3,500. It is a surety bond. This bond order is separate from the protective order. It has the same effect, but it can continue beyond 2023 as long as the case is open and pending. And the bond order requires Mr. Lampkin to have no contact with Dorchelle Pryor and the minor child in question, to not return, to stay 200 yards away from 294 Brownlee Road in Southwest Atlanta. He's not allowed to return to that property at all for any rhyme or reason. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And his next court date is going to be August 25th.
Your Honor, I did not hear the state make any allegations as to why he was charged with the theft.
Oh, that was based on the warrant. It was the allegation of removing the, what was it, a blink camera? Mr. Dudley, do you have something different? He's got quite a few open cases. So in addition to this case being rescheduled to August 25th, I am going to have these other 2 cases, at least the 2 cases that I know of. And they are April, they're going to be the 2 cases listed on the calendar, 20 CR 000238J and 21 CR 002098J. So, Ms. McLeod, I don't know if you represent him on these 2 other cases, but we like to keep them all in the same pack so that eventually they are scheduled for trial. All 3 cases are before the division judge.
I do not, Your Honor, but if the court wants me to represent,
I'm going to require you to, yeah. Okay. All right. Now, Mr. Lampkin, you had your hand raised. I just want to remind you that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can be used against you not only in this case, but all your open cases. So I'm sure your attorney will repeat this as well. Do not say anything about your case. All right.
Your Honor, and I do just want to clarify for the record, the item that was taken was Miss Lampkin's phone. After he knocked her to the ground, he did take her phone and flee the scene. The Ring camera was during the aggravated stalking.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to separate those two incidents.
Glad you sorted that one out. I'm having a tough time trying to keep up with what is with whom. Okay. All right. I think that concludes our calendar. Mr. Lampkin was the other case that we were holding on. So, and did anybody have any questions about the calendar? No? Yes?
You're done.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Francois. We will see you again sometime this week.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Have a good one.
You here tomorrow?
Not for criminal cases.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good
All
day.
right. Take care. Thank you.